made that in the pool tutorial for the piano. To be honest, I was a little surprised to see that it actually got views, but I did decide maybe I should make a guitar video as well, because I think a lot of what I say in the piano video transfers over to the guitar as well. If anything, like most of it is the same process, but the little things that like self-taught beginners don't really think about, I think could be helpful. Let's just get straight into it. So I've already learned Itte by Yorushika before, but it's honestly been a really long time since I've played it. Like you can literally see, like I tried to play like a couple days ago and like my calluses are gone. So I'm just gonna play anyway and see how it goes. But I am really rusty. First is gonna be the intro and like the main riff melody. Itte. So that's the main thing. You can hear there's a lot of like flavor to it. There's like the bends, there's like the vibrato and all that. We can talk about that more when we actually get to the section. But the second part I want to go into is the solo right here. Alright, no wonder I wanted to play this song so badly. Let's just get into learning the song. Yeah, this is the Bocchi guitar. I also have an amp with some settings on it that I can just put in the description. Basically just a guitar, amp, and there's like a rock filter on there. I'm using the 4th filter on here. Let me quickly tune my guitar. There's also a built-in tuner in. Alright, so since I haven't really played in a while, I think first I would recommend warming up every day and doing some practice drills. So one drill I really like to do, I think there's a guy named like Tomo Fujita or something. I'll put like a picture here. I'll link the video as well. There's like this one simple finger exercise that I like to do. So just be intentional about the fingering and like the technique here, because the only way to play it cleanly is to at least learn how to play each note with a clean sound. It would go something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you go up 1 fret. And then keep doing that all the way up. A couple things to note is the point of this is to be intentional about good technique. So if you make mistakes, like if you're not playing the note cleanly and picking it at the right time, just spend some time, do it very slowly, and just be intentional about the sound and good finger contact on the string. So if I press this and then I like still play the note, but like with barely the tip of my finger, like that's not good, right? You want to make sure you get solid contact. I'm probably gonna actually do this to warm myself up. Another thing to note is like I'm also practicing picking, alternate picking, like up, down, and alternating. So it's just a good way to warm up your alternate picking and then also your left hand. And then you would just do up all the way, and then go all the way until you reach the 12th fret here with your pinky. So go. And then you go all the way around. Okay, yeah, clearly I haven't practiced in a while. Like once you can play it correctly, you can increase the speed. But if you make any mistakes, just slow down. And everyone starts somewhere, so just find a BPM that's comfortable for you. If anything, I would highly recommend using a metronome if you actually are gonna do this every day. To just find what BPM is comfortable for you. Like I just made a mistake there, so just redo it slower. So that was all on the 3rd string from the top, so the 3rd thickest string. Another thing I really like to do every day when I was practicing was something called like the spider walk. Basically, you start on the, you can do this on like any fret, but I do on the 1st string, the 5th fret, so this like 3rd dot right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you basically start with your 1st finger on this fret. You basically want to use your 1st finger on this 1st string and every other finger on the 2nd string. So it would look like this. And then after that, you want to use your 2nd finger on the 1st string, and then the other 3 up here. And then the same thing, 3rd finger here, and then the others on the 2nd string. And then the 4th finger, so same pattern. And then after that, you want to go up a string, so be the same exact pattern on the 2nd and 3rd string. And then you just keep going up. Yeah, I clearly haven't played in a while. I'm very rusty. I mean, that's kind of why I'm showing the warm-up here, because I'm also just warming up. Something to also keep in mind is, since you're using multiple strings now, there might be some like leftover noise from like one of the strings while you're trying to play another string. So here's another place where you can practice like using the rest of your fingers or your hand or whatever part of your left hand to like mute the strings, or even your right hand. I am not that good at right hand muting, palm muting maybe. But so if I went like this, after I play this note and I want to let go of it, I don't like just let go like this, because that makes noise, right? So I would go like this and then let go of it, but keep my finger on there to mute it. And the same thing for every other finger. And then you just go back down, so I'm gonna do that once. Alright, so the reason I think it's important is because if you can't even play that cleanly, you probably can't play any songs cleanly. So enough of the warm-up, let's just get straight into it. So this intro section right here, I'm gonna assume you at least are comfortable reading tabs, but if not, if you like pull out your guitar, the number here is the fret. So 15 would be right here. Very quick way to figure out where you are is these dots on the top of most guitars. Usually there's like a marker here for the 12th fret, and every other one you can kind of figure out just by looking at it. There's one at the 12th fret, and then 1, 2, 3. There's another dot right here on the 15th fret, so you can find it pretty easily if you just go look for 12, 15. Another thing is, like, depending on what string it is, it's going to be on one of the 6 strings here. The bottom string would be the low E, and then the top string is the high E. So this one would be on the 2nd string from the top, so right here. I guess there's also the rhythm here, but I'm gonna assume you at least know general music reading. If not, you know, maybe I can make another video on that. But for now, let's just look at the music here. There's a couple things to note. Immediately in the first measure, we see that there's this weird arrow pointing up and it says full. This is a bend. And to be honest, probably if you're learning guitar for the first time, you should ignore this for now. But just to explain what it is, a bend is when you bend the note literally, so. Right? And an important thing about that is you don't want to really use your fingers to push it up like that. You want to rotate your wrists kind of like this more than this, right? It's just good for just technique. But if you play, if you play, you should look at the wrist here. Like you see it's like rotating. Another thing to note is like you probably will be using like multiple fingers to bend. Usually it's like ring in middle, something like that. And when it says full here, it's because you can bend the notes however much you want, right? You can bend it like in like Cliffs of Dover or something. Something like that, which is like more than a full note, right? It's like a note and like a quarter tone. So full just means one full tone, which is 2 frets. There's like a half tone and the full tone. So if we take the 15th fret, a full bend should go 1, 2 up. So if we play it without the bend, it would sound like this. Oh god. So just play this 17th fret here and just listen to it. So that's an E. So when you bend it, you want to try to hit that exact tone. Right? And in some places you don't want to do a full bend, but in this intro you do. So the same thing applies, like if it's a half bend, it would go 1 fret higher. So it'd be like, and it's difficult to hit the exact bend you want it to, but that comes with practice, and you just need to keep doing it because it's just like getting used to like you have to turn your wrist like this much exactly. But genuinely, if you're just starting the guitar, I would recommend just not even playing the bend. So just playing first couple measures like this. And just playing this entire section without the bend, because you should really just focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to like play everything at the same time. Another thing to note here is that after this last note of this measure, there's like this rest here, and in the song you can actually hear it. It's like it's a clear like end to the note, and these are like the dynamics and stuff that once again I would recommend just like not focusing too much on right now. You can come back to it later once you can already play the song. Other things to note for this first section is this PM. This means like palm mute, which means like use your strumming hand, your palm to like mute the note. And like depending on the song, you want to mute it a different amount. So some songs you want to go like, a lot of the time you want to just like mute a little bit of the string, like just at the very bottom, and you can just play around with it to like figure out like what sounds you can make. So this is open, and then this is like a little bit of a palm mute, and then this is like full muting. So the palm mute, let's say like Honestly, I didn't even palm mute it, but if you want to do it, that's how you do it. One more thing here is this little squiggly line above like the notes. This is similar to a bend, but it's just like the vibrato where like you make it like shake, right? Like. How you do that is similar to a bend in some ways, like this 14th on the 3rd string from the top. I use both my middle and ring finger again and use my wrist. But sometimes I do like have to kind of use my finger a little bit, like use my index finger. I still like rotate my wrist, but like, yeah, it's still a wrist movement. And you'll probably play around with these just by practicing. Let's just start from the top and try to play at least the beginning section. So once again, with these like rests in between, if you do want to start practicing like cutting off the note, let's say this 12th fret right here, this 3rd string, this note, you can just start off playing it. But if you want to get the sounds similar to the original, you probably want to cut off the note. So to actually do that, you want to let go of the note, but keep your finger still touching it. So like it would be like, let's say this is the string, like you go like pushing down on it. And then when you want it to cut the sound, you like lightly put your finger on it. So muting the strings is one of the least talked about things with the guitar that I feel like is so important and is the make or break between sounding good and bad. Like if you take the Bocchi the Rock intro, I used to be able to play it a little bit. And this intro, maybe I'll make a whole another video on that, is all about muting your strings because your right hand is strumming the entire thing, but only one note is actually playing. So if you go look at this, like I strummed the entire thing and only one note plays. Same thing, I'm using my thumb here to press it down, but then for the second note I have to kind of lift it up a little bit and then press down my ring finger a little bit and mute the rest of the strings with the rest of the fingers so it looks like, right? Maybe I'll make a whole nother video on that for like muting, but muting is just very important and you can use literally any part of your finger to mute the strings, and I think everyone does it a little differently. Okay, back to this song. So yeah, let's keep going from this 3rd measure. I guess it says 5th measure. Yes, one thing here to note is on this note right here, which is this, you kind of just play the ring finger, index finger, and then you kind of just slide it down to the 13th fret here. That's how I play it, at least. And just like piano, figuring out the fingering is very important to being able to play it consistently. Everyone plays it a little differently. Everyone's hands are different sizes and things like that. But just being consistent and having a method to whatever the madness, I guess, is just very important to improvement, I guess. So same thing, release the string, but keep your finger touching it to get the note cut off. And even here, like 12, 14, 13 right here, and then into 15. So without thinking about it, you could say like, I want to use my index finger, ring finger, and then naturally my middle finger wants to go on this 13th fret. And if you do that, then you can play like the 15th fret with your pinky, but I think bending with your pinky is very hard here. So what I do personally is you can kind of work backwards, right? If you want to bend with the 15th fret here with your ring finger, then you probably want to play the 13th fret with either your index finger or middle finger. I use my index finger. So if I want the 13th fret to be played with my index finger, then I'm gonna use my index finger when I go from this 14th on this lower string to the 13th. So it would look like this, like. Instead of like, just like. Which, like, you could do that, like switching your pinky to your ring finger, but personally it just feels much cleaner to intentionally make fingering that kind of like flow into whatever technique you have to use. So that's kind of a principle, just like you'll figure it out by playing it. And if it feels uncomfortable, just like try to play around or just like look for how other people are playing it in their covers. So this entire section, you can play the bends and play the squiggles or the vibrato. It's not that difficult. So I'm just gonna go from the top and play it slowly and just try to get all the notes down. So, I mean, my fingering isn't even like matching up exactly with this tab because I just learned it my own way. So another thing to think about is like, you don't necessarily need to follow tabs one to one. Like these are just like arrangements created by people. So like this 15th fret here, I actually just go down on the same string as the previous note. So it goes from like the 12th down 2. I just kind of slide it. I just like the sound, and it should be the same exact thing. And like even here, like I play an extra note compared to this tab. Which I don't know if that's correct actually. Maybe I should actually take a listen. So he goes like ba 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 ba, which is actually not the same as this tab right here. Here it's just ba 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 ba, right? But it's in the song I hear ba 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 ba. So like don't necessarily just stick to the tabs, whatever you find. Just play it however you want to play it. So you might want to play it. And even this like last note right here, there's no squiggly line, but I just like playing it like that. Oh, another thing to note is with bends, once again, muting is very important. And something you might encounter is when you bend, after you bend, all the strings might ring out, which kind of ruins the sound. Right? Like you hear all the other notes. So something you can think about is just using like here in this case, like your index finger or just whatever finger to mute the other strings a little bit. Like, so like I'm using my index finger or even like my the tip of my middle finger to make sure the other string doesn't ring out, because when you bring it up and then let go, it can like make a noise, right? So bring it up. So even like the tip of the index finger, just whatever feels comfortable, just play around with it. Because for most of guitar, you do need to be intentional about muting the string, right? So I mean, I'm still like making noise here and it's not perfect. I'm a little rusty, but I'm okay with that for now. I mean, I could spend some intentional practice to fix that later. Alright, sounds good enough for now. I think I want to at least touch on the solo, which is right here, the solo. We can listen to the solo again. The solo's a little crazy, and there's a lot of technique here that I can dive into just a little bit. So off the bat though, we see the squiggly line again, so it's the 14th fret of the 3rd string from the bottom. So here's where I'm playing with my middle finger and I have to like bring it down and up. I personally like to bring it down. I think you can bring it up as well, but it's like a pulling motion to me feels more comfortable. So play it, and then use your wrist, a little bit of your fingers too, to just make the note like kind of wobble. So once again. And here again, I'm using my index finger this entire time to mute the string after I play the 14th fret, right? Like 1, 2, 3. When I play the 13th fret here, I'm using my index finger to mute. Then 15th fret, bend, and this one actually has an arrow pointing down as well, so yeah, we'll bend it to full. So once again, it's like this note, two frets up, right? And then this time you intentionally want to make the noise of it coming back down to this 15th fret again. So you kind of want to hear that. One thing to know is that these are like the triplet notes, so it's not 1 1 1. It's like ba ba ba, right? And this next section is where it's probably the most difficult part of the song, but once again, we can break it down into little parts. So once again, with the same mindset as piano, you first want to learn the note. Like ignore all the rhythms and the bends and everything like that for now, and just learn like how to actually play the notes and get your fingers comfortable playing them. So starting from here, the 14. I play this part a little bit differently. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, just play all the notes one by one. Practice that first, and then after that, we can start talking about probably like the most important thing for this section, which are hammer-ons and pull-offs. So hammer-ons and pull-offs are techniques that you can use to play notes without strumming. The hammer-on pull-offs here, like you can kind of see them as these like curved lines that connect the notes. If you take like, let's say this section right here, measure 100. After you play this first note, these 4 notes are all connected. They have different rhythms eventually, but for now, if we try to play that, we're gonna play those 4 notes. But in this case, you're not actually gonna pick all of them. You're just gonna pick once and then use the hammer-on pull-offs. And let me show you what that looks like. So pull-off is when you pull off, I guess. You have, like, let's say the 12 right here with your index finger. And then you hold that. And at the same time, you play the 14. You put your ring finger on the 14 here. And you can play the note. And if you just let go, it's not gonna really play the note that loudly. So you can try to go like... Right? So to actually make it sound, I guess, you should pull off the string like that. So just like how you strum with like a finger, like when you're holding like a finger here and you like flick it, that's kind of what a pull off is. You have the 14th fret and then you kind of flick it downwards or outwards. So that's a pull off, and you know, you should practice each of these one at a time again. So just like a couple exercises you can do is just like do this on different strings with your middle finger, with your pinky. There's like the pentatonic shape where you can practice like hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's just this shape that you can use anywhere on the guitar. So that's what that would sound like. And the hammer-ons are a little harder than pull-offs in my opinion because it requires you to like have a little bit more precision. But I guess to just quickly demonstrate and explain, if we go back here, this 12 and 14, right? So the pull-off would be pulling off the ring finger here, and a hammer-on would be using the ring finger to hammer it on, I guess, again. Just like how like anywhere you can like tap a fret to play the note. Right? You can use your ring finger here to hammer it on. And that's what I was doing on the pentatonic shape. And once again, to practice that, slow, intentional practice. But I mean, don't even like do these drills until like you have a reason to. If you don't want to learn hammer-ons and pull-offs, like just play whatever you like to play. But I wanted to learn this song, so I just found a way to practice it every day before I was actually practicing the song. So if we go back to this same part, right? We have the bend, and then so it's the 14th fret, pick it, pull off, hammer on, pull off. So. And we can look at like other sections too. Say like this 102, it's like the same thing. 12, 10, 12, 10. It should be like basically the exact same right here. And when we see like these small connected lines, it would look like just 10 to 12 or 10 to 12 here. So it's just, you pick the first one and then you hammer on, and again. So, yeah, this entire section right here, like measure 100 to 103, is just learning the hammer-on and pull-offs and getting comfortable with that. Because that's how you play fast. Like, if I had to pick every single note, it would be a lot harder to play fast. Like, let's try it. Like, yeah, it's pretty bad. If you use like hammer-ons and pull-offs, you can go. I'm very, very rusty, but like you can see the difference at least. Like you can just go, and like I only picked like 4 times there, right? Like that's 5 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get into that, the picking there, because I think the way I learned it, just through trial and error, just makes sense to me. So after you learn the notes, we can start looking at the technique here of like what notes you should be picking and like what direction you should be picking. And for now, like don't even worry about the rhythm again. So let's start on measure 100 again. So that's those are the hammer-ons and pull-offs right here. And then after that, For that section, it would look like I pick downwards. And here I actually go upwards on this note right here, and then downwards on the next one again. It's just like, basically if you look at it, like, it just like show it with like really bad form, but like, it kind of just looks like down, up, down. So it's like very minimal movement instead of like 1, 2, 3, like going down every single time. And like, once again, like, this is just the way I play it, and you want to like learn your own way, just like change things up, listen to the music again, play it whatever style you want to play it in. This is how I do it. So like, I'm just looking at this slide here, I don't do that. So yeah, the section once again would look like, once again, I go down, up, for this note, 12, 14, 12, 14. Or I guess like entire thing here, not just the 12. Pick it once, down, and then up, down, up. And then I slide it down to the 10 here. Hammer on again, and then into the vibrato. And then this next section right here, I do the exact same thing of picking down, up, down. And like, yeah, since the strings are like 1 away, it's like literally just like this. Like, so starting from measure 101 right here, it would look like. Yeah, it's the same exact picking pattern, at least that I use, and it's just the hammer on, pull off, and then pull off again, and then so the picking goes down, up, down. Then I use up here actually, or I use down here. Yeah, down, up, down. So these two measures are pretty similar, just like on different strings and like 2 frets down basically. But the pattern is pretty much the same. And here is where I think I had trouble at least with the rhythm, and like there's just a lot of notes and like it's a little different. So if we start from this 12th fret, it would start like that, and then I pick this first note. You can just pull off actually, because it comes from like you already holding the 10th and the 12th here. So it goes. I talk about like using your wrist, but sometimes you just kind of like just wiggle it downward. Yeah, you wiggle it down, back up. So it really like it should feel like you're just bringing it down, letting go, down, letting go, kind of. And once again, it's just the hammer on and pull offs. And then you put a 12, and then just hammer ons again. Those are these 2 hammer ons, and then I like kind of slide it up, pick it, and then hammer on, pull off again, so pick it. Yeah, so basically like this entire section, you can kind of just look at the notes here. If it's by itself, you pick it. If it's the first one in the hammer on and pull off, you pick it. And then the other ones, you kind of just do a hammer on or pull off instead of picking. If we start just 103, hammer on, pull off, pick, hammer on, pick, hammer on, pick. And once again, like the actual strumming pattern here, I kind of do the same thing I did up here, where like I just keep it in between like the 2 strings and just kind of like barely move it. We bring it down, get up. So let's just start from 102. If we think about the strumming pattern, it comes out from a down strum. You can just pull off here. There I strum upwards, and then strum downwards. So up on the 12, down on the 10. And then down again on this 10 right here. And I go down here again actually. I think if it's just going in an up pattern, I strum downwards, and then once it goes down, I go strum up. So man, my fingers are starting to hurt. Yeah, overall, just try to play around with this and listen to the music to see how the rhythm should sound as well. These triplet notes right here, you can try to look at the notes and like match it to the rhythm. So if this single line is 1 beat, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. These triplets should be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This part right here should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2. So it should be like, this first one's actually still connected. So it's like 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, right? And just play that at a low BPM, like just get a metronome, play like 40 BPM. So this is 60 BPM. I just looked up metronome on Google and just turned it on. We go to measure 1 and 2 right here. You can try it again. I'm not even like actually trying to play the correct technique right now. I'm just trying to get the notes on rhythm. So I'm rushing right here a little bit on the 16th notes. And once again, like the sound of this doesn't really matter right now. I'm just trying to get the feel of it correct. And if anything, like if it's too slow, you can't really tell how to actually divide the triplets. Like you could just go like 100 BPM where each beat you hear is like an eighth note instead of like a quarter note. So this first note right here would take up 2 beats. I didn't even learn this with exact rhythms. I kind of just played it more how I felt like it. And you don't need to learn it like this. I'm just saying as a good baseline, if you don't have much of a musical background in like other things, this is a good place to start. Once you can generally get it down, I don't think you really need to be exact on the rhythm for the solo, because the solo should just be shredding however you feel like. And the only thing that I would say for that is like try to get like the main notes or the first notes of each measure to line up at least. So you could even like just like play it fast, like just try to keep it generally in tempo. This kind of stuff is pretty difficult if you're like starting out, so I wouldn't even try to make it sound perfect right now. Just try your best to sound cool. I think I do want to cover this next section at least before I end the video. So this next section, after more bends, there's this section right here. Like they want you to play it like this. But to be honest, like I found it way easier to just tap with my right hand on here, and it kind of looks cooler to be honest. So it would look like this. And it's really not that hard. Tapping, once again, same thing with the Hammer Ons with your left hand. Tapping with your right hand's actually just like easier. You can kind of like, I use my middle finger to just like tap a note on a fret. So instead of this, what I would play is, well, start off with the 14 here and play the 12, but I would use my ring finger on my left hand here and play it. And then have my index finger on the 10th fret right here, and then tap the 15th fret. It's gonna have the dot line on it. And then pull off with the tapping hand. Yeah, it's literally a pull off, but with your right hand, so, right? And keep your left hand still there. And then if you want to play this note, I just go pull off. My fingers are starting to hurt, to be honest. I don't really have the callus anymore. But the gist of it is just to tap, pull off, tap, tap, pull off, tap, tap. And just like play it slowly and then pick up the speed over time, so. And then get ready for this. I bend. And that's pretty much the solo. I think I could have spent some more time breaking things down, but maybe if you guys want more in-depth stuff like this, I could make some more. Let me know what you guys want next, I guess. I might make an Iris Out, Chainsaw Man piano tutorial. Not sure which sections to cover on that. Like the chorus sounds cool, and then like you want to cover that like really fast run, but we'll see. Anyways, okay. I guess I'll try to play the entire thing one time through. That's enough. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Good luck. See you.